Hello everybody, welcome back, as ever, to Building Blocks, where we program Minecraft mods and things, usually near instantaneously, but quite often there's a bit of a delay, go wrong. This week is gonna be an interesting one, because, well, let's just get into the world and find out, shall we? Probably the easiest way to go for. You really like the Building Blocks opening? That's good to know. I feel like I keep seeing things I could improve it, but okay. This doesn't look very familiar. Oh look, I have items. But they have the wrong they have the wrong mod ID. Huh, weird that. Okay. So, I have spent the past week, basically, trying to figure out dependencies so that I can have a mod that relies on the various oddities code. Haven't quite figured that out because the only advice I can get for it is from 1.12 or 4 years ago or all sorts, but bleh, here we go. But we do have a partial, at least, re-implementation of 3 of the headwear items from various oddities 1.12. So we've got the witch hat, we've got the crown of the archfey, which is modeled to all hell, but hey, it looks good, I think. And we also have the hood, which does hide your nameplate. It's a little hard to show that off in, like, single player, but it does hide your nameplate when it's up. And it does, in fact, get put up. So, blee, there we go. Haven't got colors in just yet, but we're working on it. It's looking good, it's functional, so I just need to figure out that dependency, because I don't really want to, like, publish a mod with a dependency before it has the dependency, because then if people start running it without the dependency, then I introduce that in a later version, everybody's stuff breaks. So, yeah, we would prefer to have any dependencies in at the mod inception, as it were. Other than that, though, I had a request to release part of the code of 1.12.2 various oddities, which was specifically the campfire, and I realized that's like 6 files, right? I could probably just wrap that up into a nice little bundle, release it as its own mod, and shove the code on Git, and it should be fine. Turned out to be more like 40, but I did actually get that going. So now we can have 1.16-esque campfires in 1.12 just by grabbing just a campfire. Makes a fair bit of sense, I guess. Totoro? Nope, this would be Pusheen. She is currently sat on my jacket, actually, which is, well, as cats are wont to do, I guess. But yes, you can now actually have the various oddities 1.12 campfires entirely by themselves in 1.12. That's probably going to be like the last mod that I ever make for 1.12, because Lord knows 1.16 is enough trouble. But yeah, there it is. So anyways, here we have various equipment, which is the first additional module for various oddities 1.16, and it focuses predominantly on items. So relatively few blocks, relatively few new mechanics, but a plethora of fun tools and tricks and trades and whatnot for you to use, as well as a variety of props. I've already said to the Come Block Home folks, if there's any equipment or tool or prop that they want for like the season, then they can absolutely just have me slide it into various equipment. But either way, I need to get that dependency working. So, oh well. But the nice part of like just getting a single thing out of a big mod is that you pretty much just have to rip the parts and keep going until it stops asking for more. It's fairly straightforward. That said, there's probably more pieces in here. Model utils shouldn't be in here, it's only in here because I haven't got the dependency working, so I need to have the thing that it wants in here. There's a bunch of references to the config of various oddities as well that I've just commented out for the time being, just so that they don't cause problems, that kind of thing. Nick, I see what you're doing and I'm going to hurt you. Don't worry about it though. Okay, let's just put, because I need a thing here. There. So let's see, what was there was like a couple of things there that I needed to have named, and I can't for the life of me remember what their things were referenced as. Wavewog violence? I have no idea what you're trying to say there, Dusty. But anyways, how is everybody so far this week? Having fun? Oh, I don't have the frog hats in here yet. You should remember that. Let's see, item group dot variqp. Oh, capital G. And then there was gear. There. Which I guess we'll rate as, like, equipment. Like, that's our main thing here. It will be adding stuff onto the various oddities item tabs, but we don't have those here. There we go, that should be... Lang will be hydrated, yeah. Just like, you know, at the end of like a sports event, where they just have like an entire, like, what's the phrase here? Canister? Just like a barrel, basically, of stuff, and they just pour it over somebody. Yeah, that's just how we're gonna hydrate me. We have the same headphones, do we? Razor Kraken Kitty Edition? Cooler? No, I'm thinking like there's basically a barrel. A cooler is like a rectangular thing. Okay, that should be all of the language we need in here. Does need item colors so that they actually like display proper colors. Does need recipes so you can actually see the things, and wow, it did not even the slightest bit care about that, did it? Huh. Interesting. Oh. Let's just reboot it, see if it likes that. Shouldn't be very difficult, but apparently it is. Oh, I'm a fool. I remember now they changed the format of these. These are JSONs now, I think. Irritating. Irritating. Okay, hang on. I've got the code for various oddities over here. Let's take a look in here, see what the formatting is. Yep. Right, okay. I don't know why they changed it to JSON, but they did. Throw you into a lake? Wouldn't be the first time. Is it semicolon spaced or equals semicolon? Okay. Did they do it around the same time that they messed up all the texture names? Yep, and the same time that they messed up all of the class names as well. And yeah, those need to be quoted as well. Okay. Then it should be able to figure it out. Once we change the file type, at least. Okay, refactor to a JSON. I think. Am I correct in that? Yes, it's a JSON. Okay. Or a JSON! Sean! Right, now we should see names. We have literally 3 items, but we should see names. You're running favors that are trying to make it easier for people who don't code or make resource packs. I started to change a couple of things, but it completely missed with anyone who has been doing this for a while. Apparently, it's Minecraft. It's like Microsoft convention, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, one of the oldest computing companies in the world, and they don't follow basic Coder 101 naming schemes. Doesn't make sense to me. But apparently, it's for like conventions of Microsoft. Apparently, seems more like something that like Apple would do to me. But yeah. Okay, do we have names? Yes, we do. Grand. Hooray! Progress. Little progress. But yeah, the major thing that this mod needs is a dependency, and as I say, there is nothing online about how to add a dependency. Believe me, I've looked. We can have ourselves the... Let's see, just bring this up to its own thing. There we are. We can have the dependency down here. Doesn't do anything. We can have the dependency in the build Gradle, which we do, kind of, down here. I commented it out just before, so we can actually get any level of this working. But there it is, right there. As I understand it, that is the correct formatting for this. Doesn't work. We can have a libs folder, as a lot of them say. Like, literally in here it says, in the libs, doesn't work. Like, we can have it in the mods folder of the run directory. Still doesn't work. So, I don't know. I don't know how to get it working. Nobody will tell me how to get it working. Nowhere tells me how to get it working. But clearly it's kind of a central thing, because there's more than a few library explicit mods. Like, there's extra utils or so. There's a whole ton of mods that rely on specific libraries from like specific modders, that kind of thing. And then there's other mods that are add-ons to existing mods that do exactly this. Yes, I know, because I have personally referenced them to get this far. Still doesn't work. I don't know what's going wrong, and no one will tell me. So, could be a while before we actually see various equipment out in the wild, but at least I got a start on it. And once I can get one of these with a dependency, then I can start to get work on all of the rest of them. So various world gens, various spells, all sorts of things. But thought I'd start off light with the items. Just need to make sure that it all actually works. So, with that, we'll hop back into various oddities for the rest of the evening. Because there's actually stuff functioning and doing stuff over here. It has to say, I've been mostly working on the on the various equipment side of things this past week, as well as just a campfire, or Jack for short. So not a whole ton of new stuff here. We can use drafting tables. I think that was a thing in the last stream. I'm not 100%, but we can, if you didn't know, we can now use drafting tables to define rooms, and then use the /settlement room add command to just add them in. Let's see, we got warg and warg genetics working. I don't have all of the cosmetic features for them done yet, so that's a thing that we could do today. In fact, I will stick that into here. Goblin wolf genetic cosmetic features. There. I can also, like, one thing that I know that we can do already. Warg spook. There you are. I've decided that wargs might spook, but they won't stand up when they spook, at the very least, so we can hopefully find that as being, like, useful, because having some wargs stand up during a lightning storm whilst you're in your mine or something, like a 1x2 kind of cave, just tunneling away, and then, like, 5 different wargs show up next to you. It's like, this is inconvenient, but a whole bunch of wargs who are much bigger doing the same thing would immediately begin to suffocate, and that would kind of really suck. So I guess on the other hand, you could mark it as being like, well, you're responsible for these big doggos that are like, they don't handle like fireworks and thunderstorms very well. So like, if there's a thunderstorm, then you just gotta stay home and look after them, because this is the bed you made, that kind of thing. Okay, if creature dot, I whoosh to your face. Genetics. Gene. We're looking for spooked by loud noises. 5. So if not that, then this dot creature dot set spooked. I think, is that somewhere down here? No. Unspook. That's the one. We can streamline this. So if this dot creature dot is spooked, there. So if they are currently spooked, but they have the gene that makes them not get spooked, then they will unspook immediately. But if they are otherwise spooked, then just find the random position. Okay. Unspook E. It's a fun little thing. Okay, so that is one of our genes hooked in to the AI. There's thunder jacket things that are supposed to make dogs chill out during storms. Are you suggesting that I add dog outfits? Bridge. Are you suggesting that I add, like, a little lead jacket that you can put around your wargs so that they'll, like, not freak out when fireworks? It's an amusing idea, I will say. Get a fun little jacket for your giant puppo. Get them in a bunch of styles. So like one looks like they're about to go surf, and one looks like they're about to attend a job interview. That kind of thing. one looks like they're dressed up for Christmas, another looks like they're dressed up for Thanksgiving. It's a cute idea. Way too much work, but a cute idea. You imagined like the llama carpets? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Let's have a look at our genetics. So, abstract goblin wolf. Okay. So, a short snout is a little tricky, because unlike most mobs, are we talking weighted blankets for dogs? We're talking jackets. I guess weighted jackets for dogs, so that they don't get spooked by lightning and fireworks, apparently, is a thing. A lolling tongue. I feel like that would be fairly easy, but we can also have passive. So, passive is a little more difficult than spooked by loud noises, because this is handled by one AI task, but that is handled by a vanilla AI task. So, what we will need to do is basically check if we are... We need to check the genetics basically when the mob is instantiated. Or booted up. Initialized, I guess would be the phrase. So we've got down here, there's owner, hurt by goal, unhurt target, hurt by target. How did we define passivity? I don't recall. Let me quickly check. I had a big blurb about it, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Oh, that's where I got the sitting code to work again. Hooray. Okay, gene 6 makes them very non-aggressive, i.e. they don't attack things unprovoked. Okay, so it's their standard attack stuff kind of code. So, hurt by... those are universal and those make sense to keep, I think. So then we want entity warg. Do you have anything? You have 2 breeding goals, which is a bit strange. I don't know how that happened, but just get rid of those, I guess. You do not have any basic attacks currently. Let's go to wargs. Wargs, I think, definitely do. Nope, they don't either. Okay, so that's not a thing we need to worry about, I guess, right? Yeah, hunt, prey, hunting, and eating. So, let's see. We can do what skeletons do, which is that they just keep an object of their AI task, and then when they're reading from their thing, they will set up what their AI is. In our case, that would probably be better as a list or an array, so that we can just plunk an extra thing in it, then it'll just add them all and then remove any that it doesn't want to keep, that kind of thing. But we'll leave this for the time being, I think. So let's just go to the model. The lolling tongue seems like it would be the easiest thing. The lolling tongue and the short snout seem like they would be the easiest thing. It's a little more difficult than most mobs because we actually have a jaw, which, much like horses, will actually like move up and down, not unlike, in fact, how the kobolds do. Actually, the kobolds have a short snout genetic trait. Although for them, it's just a cosmetic value that turns them off. There's no genetics to it. So let's get model kobold and see exactly where this gets plugged in. So there's the snout rotation point. Okay. And the jaw... Is the jaw bound to the snout? Yes, it's bound to the snout. Makes sense saying that out loud. I presume... Oh, this is bound to the head. Okay. So we need to find... We basically need to separate the muzzle from the head. There we are. And then attach the jaw to the muzzle. Okay. This could get a little bit strange, but here we go. So that's the one that we want. We want to attach that to, I think, should that have, I think that'll need a 0. All of these points, so it should just be 0. I think. This might go a little weird. Also, Nick, stop trying to drown me. I have only so much tea in this very cute mug. Much better. Okay, I guess we're just staying there now. Right. Fine. Cats be like this, I guess. Right. Continuing on. I'm going to comment that out for the time being. Just to make sure that I can put it back later. At least you're short enough that I can actually just, like, work over top of you. So add child to the head. We want to add the muzzle. That way we don't have to worry about it rendering or not. And then we add the jaw to the muzzle. Okay. Resist any temptation to give non-pets any genetics. Oh. Why? Is there, like, I can understand there being specific ideas, but why? Okay, so the muzzle is parented to the head, and the jaw is parented to the muzzle. Good. Let's quickly check to see if I've messed anything up. I don't think I will have, but let's find out. Hey Nip, how you doing? Oh, I got your message, by the way. I don't think I responded to it, but I did get your message. If you think you have not done a wrong on first try, you are a fool. We haven't done anything right now, really. We just reorganized things. The main thing that we'll be able to tell is if the wargs, if their muzzle is in a really weird place. Which should be very immediately apparent. Oh yeah. And this is a room that was added using a drafting table. If you walk into it. I changed, that is one thing I changed. The drafting table's input of a name, no longer, right, it's blueprint, isn't it? No longer actually ties to the registry name. This is now the name that displays when you enter a room. So, if, for instance, you want to make a tavern or some such, then it's very easy. In programming? Oh yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the wargs. If any of them could stand still, that would be helpful. They look fine. I think they're good. They're running about all sorts. Hang on, you're just right here. Why am I not? Yeah. Yeah, you look perfectly fine. Okay. It's getting very noisy around here. I should turn the sounds off. Ah, okay. So next, we need to alter the rotation point Z of the muzzle based on the genetics of our warg. Okay. Gasoline box gently against the wall like a confused fly. They get there at the end. They're fine. So let's see. Point Z equals entity in.getGenetics.get, well, gene. And we are looking for 2. Which direction does it go for the... Let's see, if it's short, then increase. Okay. We'll say 1F versus 0F. You have terrible premonitions of every mob being given genetics and bloating the entire mod into a breeding collectibles type instead of a mob catalog. It could be both. What's the point of having diverse cosmetic elements if you don't make sure everything can, like, be bred into specifically only those? Okay, so positive should mean it moves further back, which should result in a shorter snout. So then we just need to find out how short that we want this to be. I haven't as yet had any notion of adding genetics to Sugar Cube. So you've got that at least to go by. Forestry bees and their genetics. 2. Oh god, no. For one thing, I think that just actually exists. Okay, you don't have a short snoot. I don't know if anybody does, is the next thing. Over here. That's 3 pixels, that's 3 pixels. No, looks like you're good. Okay. We're gonna have to do some genetic tampering then. So let's see. The genetic value is gene 2, which would be 1, 2, that'd be 4. So if we set you to 4, then you should have the value. So, modif, it's gonna be merge, isn't it? Let's see how it actually shows up first before I start meddling with it. Or trying to. So, let's see, genes. There you are. Currently 3. If we add the value of the gene that is sitting in that particular value, then we should get basically an AND. So that's gene 3 value would be genes 0 and 1 are active, which would be this particular, which would, I believe would mean that this particular dog should have both ears being floppy. We don't currently have floppy ears embedded though. So you actually are missing just the one that we're missing. So if we just set that to 7, then should be altered accordingly. So genes set value 7. And not a thing happened, apparently. But the gene is there. At least not that I can see. I forgot you were here for a second there. Okay, I'm just gonna make you quiet because I don't need to go and make it and actually hear the the sound of a villager. Okay. Now I don't think I have a tag for all of the dogs currently. I have a tag for the crabs, the scorpions, and the rats. I don't have one for the wolves, or the goblin wolves, as I believe they're being largely called. Okay, let me set you to no AI at least, so that I can actually, like, move around you. There we go. Okay. Let me figure out real quick what the value should be, because evidently 7 ain't it. Okay, so if you're not familiar with binary, we're about to go over it. So every byte has a grand total of 8 different values in it that are all true or false, 1 or 0. From there, we can determine an actual integer value, or we can use those as individual booleans, true or false values, which is what we do. So doodle-doodle-doo. So that's all of our indices. Because computers always start from. You're trans, of course. You're not familiar with binary. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Oh, how droll. So, yep, there we go. Good. So, if that, then that's, otherwise 0. Very straightforward. And then over here, just sum. And that will get us the value. So if we go to those, we get 3. So it is 7. Interesting. Being trans makes one overly familiar with binary to an almost painful degree. I mean, it's not why I am, but I didn't start questioning it all until I was out of university. So who knows? Maybe there was a subconscious, like, relation to it. Who knows? But okay, so according to this, we should be getting that right. The only thing that could be... No, the genetics is built from the... Like, get genetics calls the actual data manager. So the value it gets should be whatever value we give it. Unless we're not writing it in properly? That could be it. No, we do appear to be reading and writing it. Okay. Simply looked at the gender binary and said no. I guess I kind of looked at it and just went, what if this, but we took away all of the Nazi influence? What if this, but also we considered, like, high heels were made to make men look more imposing? Or, what if this, but also we remembered that everybody used to wear dresses at one point? What if this, but less BS? Okay. So altering the muzzle didn't, near as I can tell at least, didn't cause any trouble. Let's just have a quick and dirty sit out here. Setting muzzle to state, entity in, get genetics, gene, no, not the class, gene 2. Okay. That obviously will not take place here because we'll need to reboot, but here we go. So that will be able to tell us if the value is changing at all. And more importantly, if the model is aware that the value is changing at all. So there couldn't be anything else here referencing that. No, not that I can see. Should be all good. We commented out that one, so it's not a double issue. The jaws rotation points doesn't get changed. It does slightly, but that's just so that it doesn't go very strange. So that should all be good. Should be fine. So what does the model say we currently have? And then we'll set it to 7 and find out what the next one is. Okay. Currently set to false, so data, modify, entity, that one, genes, set value 7. Still false. Interesting. We don't actually see it change at all. Huh. That scarcely seems possible, but here we are, I guess. I am modifying a warg. So there's that. Do wargs have a read-write function? No, they don't seem to. Very curious indeed. Maybe the model isn't registering the change. Yeah, that's what we've just identified, in fact. Gene 2 is short snout. We've already identified that a value of gene 2 correct would be the value of 7. So... in fact, I will also even chuck in gene 3. There. 15. Okay, so why... That is interesting. Why do we not see the correct value? That hardly makes sense at all. Okay, trying to think of how we further debug this. We could just get that. Like, we could just find out what the value of the genetic is first. If it turns out that it's just not changing the genetic value, then that's one step closer. Let's actually get the genetics out here, because we're gonna need this a bunch. You hear anything followed by the number 2 and just mentally play the GIF? Oh, the Peggle GIF? Yeah. Fair. Fair and valid. Pardon me. Okay. So if we... You guys can't really see this, but if we run it and we see that this continues to say false, but the value is changing, then we know that the problem is somewhere in how we're reading out the value from the actual byte. If we don't see it change, then we know where the problem is. It's in the read-write. Or more specifically, if I see it change, because I am currently in front of where that happens to pop up. Welp. People are really getting their values out of out of the hug plushie reward today. So let's see. Oh, night, Nick. And yes, see you tomorrow. So you have the genetic value of 7. Okay, we've established that that apparently is incorrect. But let's just see if it does actually register the change. Okay, it does register the change. So the problem is that it then is not, for whatever reason, getting the value out of it. Okay. So the problem is in this function, basically, which is a function that flying gave me. Flying, are you here? Because apparently your function broke. Okay. Let's just run a list here. So for int I equals 0, I is lower than 8, I plus plus. Gene I gene I. There. That should be able to tell us exactly what the genetics are. And we'll comment out this printout for the time being. Who knew we would find a genetic abnormality this early into the stream? Flying was halfway to passing out when she wrote that function. You're not wrong. Okay. So with value 3, apparently the only the first one is true. Which seems impossible, but here we are, I guess. Let's set one of you to have a 7 then. And see how that changes. Okay, with a 7, same exact answer. Which again, I remind you, is impossible. No two values should have the exact same genes. Can we actually even scroll up far enough to see free again? No, we can't. Okay, but when it was set to free, gene 0 was the only one that was true. So there is very definitely a problem here. Okay. So we need to fix this somehow. I'm not dreadfully certain how. Because bit shifting is not my specialty at all. There was like a different version of Flying sent me. Before she keeled over. Anyways. Okay. So let's see. Let's see, x in this equation I believe is the value of the one we're looking for. Wait, no, this is exactly what this is exactly what I just already have here. At least I think. Yeah, that is exactly what I already have, because she she edited her code in the message log. Ah, right. Okay then. Next question, is there something inside of 112 that I could use as a reference? Probably. Probably. Because in 112, it was pre-flattening, which is to say that we actually had like data values to store and use instead of just complex things that don't even need to care. So, if we go back here, and I think if we check the hive creep block, we should hopefully be able to find something a bit useful. So block hive creep. So let's see, get state from meta. Nope. Right, because its sides are based on the actual state rather than anything else. Problem. Okay. I think fences might be a bit better for us then. Oh, but of course we don't have access to the vanilla code in here just yet. It's gotta be a block. We know that much. Is there a block that I've used in here that actually has the values I'm interested in? No, not the brazier, but the sconce, maybe? The conveyor seems like an obvious choice, actually. Let's have a look at conveyors. Not as helpful as I was hoping for. Okay, I'll just do what every single programmer since the beginning of time has done. I'm gonna Google it. Value of bit in byte. Like redstone combination blocks adding values together, but in Java? I guess, yeah. Annoyingly, it's more or less just spat out exactly what flying gave me. But it doesn't have this bit at the end. So that might be it. That might just be the problem. Okay, let's find out. Whoop, nope, I can close this. So it's value and 1 bitwise and bit number -1, which in this case is our index anyways, does not equal 0, which in our case would be equals 1. It would have been nice if I'd been taught actually useful things in programming, but, you know, here we are. You know, budget cuts, I guess. Well, my university definitely did not have any budget cuts. Okay, we're still seeing the exact same output. Like, we should be seeing different genes being turned on here. And I am definitely incrementing through them, or else we would just have the same exact number down here the whole time. That number indicates what index we're feeding to getting the gene. So something's hecky here. It's coming to mind that maybe we're overwriting the value here. which I don't think is possible, but we'll put it in there anyways, just in case. Anyways, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I will see you then. Hopefully we'll have something approaching a solution. welcome back, everybody. So, we've discovered that our genetics have a flaw in that it can't read them. So, we are attempting to figure out a manner of, well, just basically getting this to work. So val equals this dot value, just so that we can be certain that we're not somehow accidentally altering our genetic value here. And here's Flying's original code, and here's another, I googled it, there's a couple of different ways to do this, apparently. Hopefully one of these actually has the effect that we're looking for, which is that more than this first value is turned on. Who knows? Who knows? But this is not a problem that I thought we had after the last week, so... Granted, we didn't really have much in the way of, like, visibility for it, so I guess that makes a degree of sense. Whereas this is the definition of visibility for it. Oh. Okay. Goblin Wolf to the next from value -32. Okay, from value 7, that's the correct readout. That's what we should be seeing. I don't know who has a -32 in their genes, but that's something we need to address, I guess. Because it should never go negative at all. That's not a thing. Okay, so that one works. What about this other one with the bit mask? Does that one work? Is it literally just Flying's version that's broken? I wonder how we got a -32. Huh. Maybe that doggo was feeling real down. Ugh. Okay, that one does not appear to work, because we can see we've only got the one. Interesting, we found apparently the one way that this works. We'll keep Flying in here, mostly for reference, I guess. One thing I do want to do here, see, previously I had this default value of 224. It stands to reason that the -32 that we saw was them drawing up from that default value. So, what is the binary value of 224? It is these first 3, and then nothing else, apparently, which seems implausible, but I'm guessing it's these ones. Yes, there we go. So that means they get spooked, and they have no recessive warg traits. So 224 is the correct value. Is it possible that it's treating that last bit as sign, maybe? Yeah, I figured as much. Hang on, let me check Java Byte. Let's just see. Because these are signed. So let's see. Max value 2 to the power 7 minus 1. Which we can get from here. Power to 7. Flip, nope. Minus 1. Yeah, what? 127. Probably that is the that is probably where we got the -32 from. the other one was negative 2 to the power of 7. So let's see. That minus that. 255. Yeah. Okay. We need to basically make this an unsigned byte. I don't know if unsigned bytes exist. Let's find out. Yes, they do. Unsigned bytes. Max power 2, max value, unsigned, yes, good, fine, 2 ints. Bunch of things in here. So do we just use this as rote? I don't know, but we kind of need to because we need to say 224, or else our defaults don't work, essentially. So yeah, one of these bytes must be relating to the sign, and that's the problem. So let's see. Compare to int. Returns the value of the given byte as an integer when treated as unsigned, that is, returns value plus 256 if the value is negative, value itself otherwise. Okay. Let's give it byte in. And cast it, of course. Wait, no, because that still won't work. Unless we just treat them as an integer. This genetics code needs a heading of beware of dog bites. Ah, Rafe with all of these wonderful puns. So yeah, if we want to actually make use of all of these bytes, all of these bits in these bytes, we actually need to figure this part out. I guess we got to store this as an integer. But I don't know if that'll work either. Come to think of it. Oh, this is a pain. This is a pain. I want to use all of these bits, but if I take the byte, convert it to the unsigned integer, then convert it back to a byte, I'll just be back where I started. Ooh, okay. So we gotta store this as an integer. What is the absolute max this could be? 255? Yes. I'm pretty sure if I convert this to a byte, it's going to be back to having problems, but we'll find out, I guess. What's your problem? Ah, new byte. There you go. But then that's also asking for a byte, so integer varint. That needs to be integer as well. Okay. Shouldn't have any problems beyond that. It's just a matter of whether it works properly. Which I'm not 100% confident of, but if it does, the first thing that we'll know is, well, from the console being spammed, but also from This particular doggo having a shorter snoot. Let's find out. Okay, 224 got read correctly, and Doggo has an adorably smaller snoot. Okay. How's everybody over here? Yeah, you guys looking pretty... You guys all look fine. You have only 2 pixels forwards. Okay. Do we want to go for 2, or do we want to say that it has to be 1? Been too long since you last did math because you can feel your brain stalling out mid-calculation. Oh yeah, been there. But yeah, when it booted up, it read out the genetics for the value of 224, which is our like bred by goblins default, and it was fine. And clearly, it works there, so I think that's good. I think that works now. Maybe flying just wasn't accounting for the sign part, I don't know, but works now. Okay, next up, ears. So get those. And let's see, there's the ears. Ear right, ear left. Oh, we can actually skip that part then. There. Immediately converted to local variables. 2 pixels is fine and believable looking. Yeah. 1 is a pug face. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. So... how are we gonna work this? There's the rotation angle. I think we need to change the rotation points? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's rebuild this in Techne and see what we can get. Techne's not great for a lot of things these days, but it should be enough to reconstitute our warg's head and be fine. So, okay, let me just drag this over to here. Okay. Dimensions of the head, 6, 6, 4. Positioned at 0, 14, minus 7.5. Offsets, -3, -3, -2. So there's the beginning of the head. Call that 1. We can skip the headwear layer for the time being. Then we have the muzzle, which is 3 to 4, and it's the same position because it's just bound to the head itself. So negative and there, and there. And the offset. Interesting, it's already a pixel in. Have to remember that. Okay, ears, though, that's what we're interested in here. And this will be the right ear. Dimensions 2, 2, 1. Let's see, ear space is -2.75. Altitude -3.25. Depth 0.5. Okay, so that... well, I'll need to add that to the positioning of the head here to actually have a decent idea of where it is. So 14 on top of the depth, on top of the altitude, rather, would be about -11. Or rather, about 11. Do not hit negative, I know that gets me out all the time. Okay. So that's an idea of where this is. Then we have some rotation angles put to it. So it's about -20 degrees on the Z. And 20 degrees, -20 degrees on the X. Okay. So that's what we see for one of these. What happens if we say +30? Or such. Like about there, maybe. Like, do we want to say that's what a floppy ear looks like? Hmm. 90 over 3 would be 30, actually. -30. Yeah, that'd be correct. Okay, yeah, if we alter this a little bit, then we can actually have it be that the rotation point is in the base of it. Just need to figure out where it would be there based on this. Because that clearly is not what we start with. I think we could probably just manage by flipping the rotation a bit. That's probably fine. Okay. In which case... this dot ear left... nope, let's start with the right. Ear right dot rotate angle x equals... genetics dot gene 0. Then negative model utils dot degrees to radians, which I think we have. Yep, we will. Actually, that should be positive, shouldn't it? Positive, we'll say 30. Okay. And then the same, I believe, to the other one. Yeah. Just a different gene. Okay, let's see how that fares with our wargs. The wargs have a different model, so we'll have to feed that in, especially. And reminder, you cannot breed wargs. So when you end up with a warg, you can't make a warg with different genetics out of it. You gotta start with the wargs. Wargs are a significant investment. When it comes to breeding, at least. We didn't exactly nail down why you can't breed wargs. Could be that they're genetically sterile. Could be that they're just hecking massive. But you can't. Just a thing you gotta deal with. Okay, so there's the forward floppy ear, as we're defining it, and there is the... that is also floppy ears. Hello. Where's somebody that doesn't have floppy ears? Hang on. Do all of you have floppy ears now? Somehow? That is definitely not what we started with. Did I hack up a thing? I think I hacked up a thing. You guys, I might have hacked up a thing. So if it's true, then it's that. Otherwise, it's -20. Something here is hecky. No, that is -20. I'm correct in that, I think. I don't know about you, but I think he hacked up a thing. Yeah, that certainly seems that way. Oh, did I... hang on. If I put that back to -30, and this to +30, yeah, there's how I hacked it, I think. The rotate angle X, when what I was trying to measure with was Z. Okay. Positive versus negative 30 degrees on the X. That's what I should be doing here. So that is 2 radians 30. Now, we don't want to touch the Z because it alternates between the two. But the X should be the same each time. I doubt that's updated across you guys. Yeah. Actually, do you have... None of you have been bred, so none of you should have different values, but... Okay. Let's see if we got it. So it's the X angle, which is the tilt upwards and forward, upwards and down, which is right there. Why does... hang on, have I transcribed this into Techni wrong? Is that what I'm seeing? Because it starts at Z here. Oh, I might have. That might be why it's hecky. Yeah, I wonder if that's what's going wrong. Okay, let's take that code out for a hot minute so I can compare this to what I've got in Techni. Oh god dang it, it did the thing again. Sometimes it'll decide to run the build instead of run client, which is what I'm asking it for, because it should be just picking the last one, but oh well. You hear calmness until suddenly I have hacked something. Yeah, gotta wait for that to finish. It's in line. So everyone having a good week so far today? Hope so. Bit early in the week, I know, but you know, people can have bad Mondays and bad Tuesdays. Okay, run that one, please. Good week indeed. Yeah, it's your birthday, I hear. Or specifically, I think it was over this past weekend, but still. A little bit more birthday dust. Okay, so what does the ear look like when we're not applying our genetics to it? Okay. Just going to duplicate our ear here for the left. Let's see, positive 2.8, I'm guessing? Yeah. And 11 and 7. This is relatively approximate because technically does not do decimal points very much, but eh. -1, -1, -0.5. Okay. That looks about right. Okay. So if we change that to positive 20 and that to positive 20, should move them both forwards. But it don't, though. It rotates them, which is a little odd. Which tells me I'm probably still getting these wrong. Let's see, the rota angle x is the negative 30. 90 over 3, 30, yes. Oh, this is positive. Negative there. And the other one... Okay, the left one is positive on the Z. Okay, that looks about right. That looks correct to me. So change that to a positive 20. That to positive 20. Should tilt them both forwards. Yes, that looks correct. Okay. I'm gonna put these in correct order, so that they don't bug me more. Okay. So it is the X, and it wants to be 20. Here's to hoping that I got that right now. I can simplify this in a hot minute, but right now. We're getting into Italian metal? Interesting choice. Easy to learn a language and sing along. Ah. Let's bear that in mind. I still need to, like, get back into learning Japanese. I guess if I wanted to get back into German from my school days, I could just, like, listen to Rammstein. Okay. Why don't all of you have these? Why don't all of you... Hang on, if I set you to 6... If I set your genetics to 6, then... Okay, currently he's 7. If we set you to 6, then you should lose 1 of your floppy ears. Okay. Why do you have floppy ears? Get back here. You stop moving around. Never work with children or animals, they say. Genes free. Interesting. Anybody else? What about you? Are you set to free as well? Genes free. Huh. That's interesting. Let me just... I don't really want to get rid of them, but we're going to end up with surplus wargs if I don't. I just want to spawn this in and see what your genes are. Genes 0. That's impossible. Your genes can't be 0. If your genes are 0, you should be a warg. Okay, anybody who's not into animal cruelty may wish to look away and also cover their ears at this moment. Sugar Cube, please no. Don't. I do not wish. Forgot that part. They clearly are, he's just short. He's a bit short now. A bit shorter now. Yeah, they should start with... How did they have a 0? Sugar Cube was protecting it, but then changed their mind very fast. Okay. Genes. Oh, bite value. It got registered as the bite value. That's why. Probably. Let's see, is there anything else in here that might be contributing to that? So that'll be why they were having weirdness. I think. Yeah, it's being retrieved as the integer value. Yes, I get the joke, Dusty. I get the joke. Okay, now they should actually start with 224 as their genetic value. But also, we have short snoot and floppy ears. I'd be highly tempted to have the ears function kind of like a cape does. So if they turn their head around too quickly, their ears flop. But that would be so painful. So painful to calculate. So, we'll leave them as is. Okay. So those guys are, for lack of a better term, contaminated. Let's get somebody here. Gene's still 0. How are we getting a 0? Like, genuinely, that's impossible. Unless this is working really wrongly, I guess. I guess that could still be working wrongly. Oh, it's getting fed in as that. That's probably not helping. Is that the last reference to bites? No, it's not. That there, it can stay a bite. That's fine. I think that's the end of it. Love Sugar Cube flying backwards towards you. Sugar Cube does not need to worry about trivial things as such trivial things as like aerodynamics. They're quite happy to be a turret on the floor occasionally. Okay, all good. We can stop that now. Alright, that should hopefully mean that it actually works properly, because yeah, if it's negative, it gets set to 0 immediately when it goes in. So it's probably that issue. It gets fed in, and then somewhere along the lines it reads it and sets it incorrectly. Is it moonwalking with its tentacles or moon squiggling? This is such a bizarre thing. You want to make Mecha Sugar Cube in Space Engineers? Oh, I don't envy you the I don't envy you the hinges for that. Also, I feel like it wouldn't work very well. Okay, let's just do this behind the shed, just so we don't traumatize the other works. You get back here. Okay, genes, 255. It's fine. 255 is a good enough number. Let's see if we can identify what values you've got. You've got the short snoot. You can see that. Which is that one, gene 2. .255 is literally the entirety. You have every gene imaginable, sir. How do you feel? Okay, let me get another one out. Why do they always run? Come on! You also have to... did I put the thing the other way around? Is that what happened? No, max min should be correct. Genetically overloaded. We turned 100% of your genome on. How do you feel, sir? Hmm.
You guys are so good at that.
I mean... really, on initial spawn, it should just still be the genetics that we get from the default value. So actually, that's not a problem, really. It's mostly a problem because it uses the same code as when we're trying to actually cross them. Which worries me somewhat. So I guess we'll just leave that be for the time being. But that's clearly another problem. Okay, right. So, next one. The lolling tongue. Now that is gonna require actually altering the model, because we'll need to add an extra bit to the muzzle in order to actually have that. We can also add it to... It might be best to add that to the actual jaw, come to think of it. So let's get that modeled into here. Let's see, dimensions, 313. Negative 1.5, that's position, wrong thing. 0, 2.5, and negative 1. And let's see. Okay, your rotation point is, so it'll be 16.5. Damn it! I hit the delete key. If you hit delete anywhere inside of Techne, then it deletes the thing you have selected. And what you need to always use is backspace. I make that mistake so much. Let's see, you're set to 14. Okay, so it should be 16.5. And your Z is minus 7.5. We want to see minus 8. Okay, so yeah, there's our thing. We also want to make sure the tongue is far enough forward that when it is out, you can still see it even if they have a short muzzle, or else not necessarily like a visible thing. And we always want the genes to matter. Again, similar to the ears, I feel like they should like it should flop around, but again, that would be such a pain. Such a pain. Okay, we should just need a 2x2. We can scale it down a little bit later. 16.5 and 8.5. Oh, negative 8.5. Do I want this to be static on that merit? I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, we definitely want to scale that down. That's real. That's way too big. It's like most of their mouth entirely there. Okay, we're also gonna obviously need to texture this, so let's just dig all the way through here. Jesus, to get to glimpse. Yeah, basically, it's not impossible that a warg could have a genetic value of 255, but it's pretty dang unlikely. Like, that would mean that they're, let's see, they're completely, basically impossible to get a warg out of. They're not spooked by anything. They're passive. They have the lolling tongue, they have the short snoot, and they have both of the ears. Like, that is a heck of a lot of combination there. Just like everything activated. Okay, let's just drag all those in. Where could we put a texture for a tongue? Probably just right up here, actually. Whoop, careful there, Bridge. So curious about the stuff on my desktop? I mean, there's a lot of stuff on my desktop. But also, it's kind of a privacy thing to not show your desktop on streams. So... I did not see what you tried to type, I'm afraid, so... Oh, recessive all the time. But okay, we'll have it as a 2. We'll shift it another half a bit forwards, then we'll downscale it. So let's see, it's 6 pixels long by 4 tall, which means it is definitely too big to stick right there. But definitely not there, so that is pixel 16. Let me just stick this into code. Okay. We're adding it to the jaw, by the way, just so that it actually moves with the jaw, otherwise it would just levitate as though it was actually attached to, like, their upper jaw rather than their lower. Which would be upside down, suffice it to say. Let's see, offset -2, -1, -3.5, 1, 2, 2. And -0.5f, which should cut it down in size. Get ourselves a color. What's a nice color for this? Let's go with that. Okay. Okay, that should be correct. Yep. Just copy that onto the other textures. We have a headwear layer. It's not actually used in the default textures, but we do have one. So if you want to give them a bit more scruff, you absolutely can. Okay. Overwrite.
Don't be afraid
Overwrite. Blip. Go away. Thank you. The only talkie-talkie on this stream is me. Okay. Let's see. This dot tongue dot visible? Enabled? Active? What is this? Show model. There you go. Gene free. I think. Tongue? Yeah. Okay, what is our value at that stage? There's value 15 for our testing. The old warg. Tempted do not, Dusty. If Moobot doesn't send you for it, the Twitch bot will. Okay, let's head back to our team work. At some point I do need to figure these numbers. Okay, so data, modify, entity, that one, genes, set value 15. What if we also turn off the short snoot? 11. Feels off, don't it? Tongue is added to the jaw, so as long as the jaw's being rendered, the tongue should be. Is it just so small I can't see it? Let's have a look. Nope, I don't see it at all. Hang on. Nope, that's the eye. Okay, what's up with the tongue? Here's a sentence. Tongue is generated. It does have its bucks. Should be perfectly fine. Let's get rid of that for the moment. 1, 2, 2, 2, minus 2, minus 1, minus 3.5, correct. Okay. We don't want to have the texture rotation point be anything but zeros, so it should be in the exact relative position as the jaw itself. Also, let's just hardwire it for true at the moment. Okay. If that's not showing up, then I'm a little stumped. Well, I'm a little lot of things, but stumped, I guess, particularly. Tongue is broken, it's too small. I shall take hammer and fix tongue. Maybe I just gave it a too small a value. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't recall if the scaler accepts negatives. Come to think of it, that might be it. I did, out of curiosity, modify the right textures, didn't I? VO, yes, 116. Okay, good. They are all right there. Okay. Just refresh that real quick. There you go. Okay. looks looks more like a tumor of some kind, doesn't it? Like a boil. This warg has swallowed a bee. Okay, let's try 0.5. If I have to go smaller, I will. But let's try 0.5. And let's reinstate the genetics. I mean, we have bees in the game. I literally could make that an actual feature. That wargs will occasionally fight bees. And if they get stung by a bee, I just, like, double render the muzzle, but, like, stretched. So it looks like they've gone, like, so it looks like they've got a swollen face. That is a thing I could totally do, but I think that's going a little overboard at this stage. Okay, yeah, negatives are definitely the way to go. Sir, how many bees did you get stung by? Six again? Oh yeah, right. We'll check this out real quick, and then I will go for my my break. Thank you for reminding me, Rafe. I'd completely forgotten. If anybody's new here and doesn't understand why sticks means break, it's a meme. It's an old meme, but it checks out. Related to cheese sticks. Is it Randy your sticks? I can't recall. I think that's there, it's just way too small. Yeah, I think it is the... Oh, yep, I can just make it out. That is way too small. Okay. Right. I'll be back in a moment. everybody, to the final hour of our evening. Ha! We encountered some problems that we did not anticipate, but hopefully I've managed to figure them out. We'll see. Hopefully. Just fiddling with some things while other stuff is loading. There we go. Okay. So we're trying to get the right scale of tongue, and I actually realized something a little entertaining just while I was off there. Which is, if you look over here, the next time our buddy here talks, yep, there we go, there's that fang. And that fang is actually parented to the head. Which means that when they have the small snouts, like the smaller muzzle, the fangs stay where they are, which is fine for our current textures. But I realized, if you change the textures, you can make smaller muzzled, you can make short muzzled wargs have just like an overbite, basically. I don't know why you would, but I'm kind of entertained by that notion, so I think I'll leave it as is. Anyways, that is negative. That is a scaling of -1. Negative 0.5 was where we had it, and it just went invisible. So let's try going to -2.5. Because that still seems kind of too big to me. And maybe worthy of, like, lowering down a bit as well. This is the point where we do have to just go through trial and error, because Techne does not handle scaling of cubes at all. I did also go through and add a proper tongue texture though, so there's that. I feel like we could maybe do rotating it on the Z-axis a bit as well, so it's not just like straight vertical. So it looks like it's actually hanging out of something rather than just being there. Keep it as is for the time being though. Okay, that's looking a bit better. I think that's a more reasonable kind of size. So yeah, just gotta... Do I actually take a break during my breaks, or do I just keep coding? I generally do try to take a break. That said, I'm not necessarily very good at taking breaks. Let's see, should we rotate angle X, model, utils, 2 radians, let's say 5 for the moment, and I'm going to take a wild guess and say that's in the wrong direction, but we'll find out. Would you hear the typing if you did keep coding? No, you wouldn't, because my microphone is off during the break screen. You'd hear error noises if I was coding. Okay, I did get the right direction. Hooray! How does that look when you're talking? I think it could deserve to go lower, and probably also to go a bit farther out as well. Okay. Say 10 degrees. So the gene just turns this feature on and off. Nothing particularly special there. Whereas the ear ones actually control rotation. The spook one actually controls AI. And the warg ones, of course, control whether you're likely to make a warg. Even then, it's not a guarantee. Because if you had a pair of wargs, both of whom had 100% recessive genes for making a warg, they would just be wargs. So you always have like a 50-50 with them. It's like, I think at most a 25% chance, not factoring in mutation, which could also scupper your efforts. So you will pretty much always end up with a lot more wargs than wargs. Okay, that is good angle, I think. I think we just need to drop it down so it actually like fits better. I don't think it went higher though, so let's go. I am on the wrong thing, that could be why. Yeah. I was changing the Z, no wonder. Hey Cam, how you doing? I miss Ollie. If anybody does not remember, early in 2020, very early in 2020, before 2020 became an unremitted dumpster fire, we had a neighborhood cat just sort of stay with us for a few days called Ollie. And Ollie was utterly spoiled by me, specifically. And would frequently just sort of hang out on my lap. Okay, going further down seems to be lifting it, so we need to go the opposite direction. Say 0.5. The boy, yeah. I still have the pictures of him on my phone because why wouldn't I? He was so nice. He'd just sort of like hang out on my chair while I was doing stuff. He was so lovely. Massively, incredibly stressful to have when you don't know how long you're supposed to be keeping this random cat, nor have the capacities to do so in the household, that kind of thing, but he was nice company to have. I liked him. Once we actually manage to get the house redecorated entirely, we will probably be working on getting a cat ourselves. Okay, that's looking better. How does that fit with the texture indoors? In the mouth. I think that's more or less okay. Could maybe stand to go a little higher. What do we think, everybody? Could maybe also stand to be going a little bit further forwards, because right now I think that would be clipping into the head if it was shorter. A little higher? Yeah. Cat photos for patrons when I have one, I guess. Okay, 0.3, let's say. And forwards and backwards is the Z-axis, so... Yeah, for the most part, when I'm working, I am just like more or less just sat stock standard on my chair in whatever strange fashion I happen to be sitting at the time, because Lord knows it's not how I'm supposed to be sitting in a chair. But like, well, he didn't seem to mind too much. He was just sort of like sat next to me or behind me or on me, just purring away. It was lovely. Until I had to move my legs, and it was a little bit disconcerting. Who knows, maybe having a cat on my lap would actually force me to sit properly. That somehow seems to have gone lower. Did I give it in the wrong direction? Mayhaps. Feeling called out? For what? Sitting weirdly in chairs? That, as I understand it, that's a fairly common thing across basically anybody who is gay and or neurodivergent. Apparently none of us can just sit in chairs properly. And I'm all of these things. I'll tell you what though, when we had Ollie for the most protracted period of time, which was like when we had to take when we figured we probably should get involved with this cat that keeps turning up, get them to like the vet, get them see if they're okay, see if they're tagged, that kind of thing. I did absolutely set up a camera underneath my desk because he Ollie liked to sit on my footstool, and then naturally the first stream night when he's around and I have that set up, he decides he's just gonna wander off. Of course. Okay, does that... That looks about good to me, I think. Yeah, I think that comes across as what it is, at the very least. Okay. Data, modify, entity, that one, genes, set value, 15. Just to compare there, good. Top for me, thank you. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Why does the face look so much happier on the short one? Like why does the face look so much happier somehow than compared with the long one? I don't know why, but it looks happier to me. I think it's tricking my human brain. I think it's putting this like line of pixels on the nose closer to human position to like human proportions, and that's tricking my brain into realizing into thinking that it's like a happy human face. That is weird. That is very weird neurology going on there. But okay. That, I think, is all of the visual genes set. Let's see, floppy ears, yes. Short snout, yes. Tongue, yes. We've got spooked by loud noises. The only thing left is passive, but we don't actually have any aggressive things yet, like in place at the moment. So let's go to model warg. And I think they're basically the same story. Let me just actually make that go. Don't know why I went about this way, but apparently I did when I first made this model. What do I use to code? Lucian, hey! Good to see you. Welcome everybody. What do I use? I used to, well, I started using Notepad++. way back when. At the dawn of time. Now, I actually use this IDE, this Independent Developer Environment, which is called Eclipse. Unfortunately, a lot of these are the same proportions, I think, and the same angles, especially, as wargs, so we should be able to just drop our code in from them, and it should handle it just fine. How am I? We're in a weird position. We need to get a dependency in, but we don't actually have any remote idea how to add a dependency, because nobody's written it down anywhere in the history of Forge 1.16, apparently. So today we are mostly adding the visual, like, cosmetic elements of our warg genetics. Okay, that should be... this is in a weird arrangement again. Hang on. Just so that I don't read this wrong. Okay, 20 degrees, good, right. So that should already get the ears working. I don't believe the wargs mess with their genetics values, so we should be okay there. Let's have a look. Nope, not seeing anything in here. Good. Now I have default tags for like Fae and humans. In the creature types, yes I do. In fact, I can bring that up right here. So, for instance, I am the only person, I'm the only player that has special types by default, and I'm typed as a Holy Fae. Or Fae brackets Holy. Everybody else is by default a humanoid somewhere in here. Where are we? There we are. Yeah. Everyone else is just by default humanoid. But we have so many things in here now. Is there one for mechanical beings, i.e. automatons? That would be a construct, of which the current representatives are snow golems, iron golems, and shulkers. Formerly, blaze were also classed as being constructs, but I thought they worked a little bit better as being elementals. Why am I holy? Because I made the mod, and that makes me god. In short. Also, I guess holy would theoretically class me as being an archfey. Anyways. Angel lying when? I mean, we've literally already had God lying. That's a thing that happened. Okay, where is Muzzle? There is Muzzle. Let me look at what the pros and cons of being a... Actually, I recently went over the wiki and updated all of this, so let's just dig in there. The wiki is a big old mess, but it does include the current actual properties in 1.16 of the mob types. So let's see, constructs. Are immune to critical hits, drowning damage, falling damage, poison damage, and paralysis, which is to say, really high levels of slowness, or anything that actually just straight up prevents you from moving, just about. They also do not need to eat, sleep, or breathe, which means, A, you can never spawn phantoms, and B, you can, like, just be entirely in a wall. Like, somebody could, like, put you in an old school sand trap, you'd be fine. Downside, you can't regain health naturally. Your hunger status never goes above, I think it's like 7.5 or so. Can't recall the exact number. But yeah. So there's that. That is a fairly significant downside, most would say. But for all that, not bad. But if you wanted to have all of that and still be able to regain health, most of it is in elementals. But there's a whole bunch of them around. But yeah. Okay. That should be correct. So the last thing I need to add in here is the tongue. Ooze is in there, yes. Lip, tongue ook. There we go, tongue. Where's tongue? There is tongue. What are you scheming, Lucian? Okay, where's tongue? There is tongue. Okay, the jaw has the same values, I think. 313, 313. So if we can probably keep the same scalings in wargs. And I'm guessing that we can also have the same texture arrangement, but just to be on the safe side, I'll grab that clone. Seen the skin? Oh yeah. The one that you sent me by complete and total accident. Oh boy, forgot about that part. Okay, well, 16-0 should still work. Yeah, just plunk it there. And there. And there, okay. Export. Export. They'll overwrite, strictly speaking, but nonetheless. Could stand to be a bit across, but I'll leave it here. Okay. And refresh those resources, and that should be all good to go, I think. Let's have a look. When to send to your partner be mixed up with discords. Aha. Have you Forta sleeping soon? Because I know your sleep schedule is way worse than mine, which is saying a lot. Okay, I should have a warg somewhere in the distance that we can genetically modify. Let's see, there's a horse there. There's a lot of wargs there, but I don't think... Ah, there you are. Wait, no, you're wargs. Dang it. Are they over here somewhere? Where'd they get to? I should really, like, I should really leash this, this horse. There's crabs out here as well, by the way. Like, there's just all sorts here. And alas, all of the foxes have lost their winter apparel. Just wandering crabs? Yep, just wandering crabs. From when we were implementing the crab rave code. There, stay. Okay, let me grab one of you guys. I think for the moment I can control everybody. Okay. That one, no AI. Set value 1B before you go anywhere. Okay. Let's mess with your genetics now. Let's just get what her genes currently are. Currently set to 0. Okay, let's change that. Of course it'd be 0 because turning to those two values being off means you're a warg. Bleh, of course. Okay, modify. Genes. Set value 1. Let me also set your rotations. Okay, you got one floppy ear. Good, good, good. So we set you to 2. The other one, 3. Both of them, 4. Oh, I forgot a piece. I forgot a piece. Oh, I'm so sorry. This poor dog. I forgot to parent the jaw to the muzzle. that's what I forgot. Hang on, they're fixed. Okay. The jaw is still pointed to the head rather than the muzzle, so when the muzzle moved back, the jaw didn't. Oh no. Poor Finn. Okay. Should be good now. But wow. Not every bug we encounter is like game breaking. A lot of them, sure. Not all of them. Sometimes they're an overbite or an underbite. Yeah. Night, Lucian. Thanks for stumbling. I mean, some dogs be like that, you know? Not these ones, ideally, but you know. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see, 4 I think is what we had. I think 5 is where it went wrong. Oh, there we go. Hooray! Oh, I like where the I like that the teeth stay exactly the same place. Yeah, something about the short nose makes it really a lot more cute somehow. But yeah, here we go. What is it about the flatter face that makes it look so much more cute? Okay, and then 8 means that they're passive. And then we go back into that. It's almost like vampire fangs? A little bit, yeah. Oh wait, no, 8 is the tongue. I forgot now. Imagine when they're actually sitting. Because these guys don't sit yet. Baby have small face. Fixed with hammer. You know, here we are with just the tongue. Okay. I really need to reduce the amount of animals running around here. It's getting way too noisy to do stuff around here. But hurrah! Okay, as I say, the last piece that we'll need to fix in is going to be based on, is going to affect their AI, and that is whether they actively seek out, like, sheep and whatnot to eat. In fact, I think I came up with a list of stuff that they'll attack. It was like, let's find out. Let's see, cows, llamas, pigs, and sheep. Sounds like Sakura's base. Oh yeah. So many. Just like Granny Goblin told me, please do not take advice from Granny Goblin on how to treat wargs. It's not like here. Okay, fun-ish story. There is a lot of racism built into Dungeons and Dragons and a lot of like RPGs as a consequence, built predominantly from Tolkien and earlier. So goblins, for instance, are frequently meant to be caricatures of really anti-Semitic traits, whereas orcs tend to be just replete with racist stereotypes about black people. Just sort of on and on and on and on, that kind of thing. But goblins, I'm as a consequence, I'm hesitant to say that goblins, as a culture, mistreat their dogs. But goblins do mistreat their dogs. Yeah, Yellow Paste. It's. There's been a lot of pushback against that more recently, so that there's a lot less racism, anti-Semitism, and colonialism as well inside of like RPGs. But it's still there, so you gotta keep an eye out for that. Like, have you ever noticed that orcs are always like very tribal people with broken English and very violent. There's a reason for that. You ever notice that goblins are usually very small and have big noses and tend to really love gold? There's a reason for all of these things. They're not good reasons, but they're there. And there's a lot of stuff like that just right in there. But I digress. So yes, they'll be hunting cows, llamas. Llamas will be very interesting because that means that means you can almost use them as like a wandering trader detection device. That just occurred to me. Llamas weren't a thing in 112. But but pigs, sheep, and cows certainly. They won't eat horses. Should we have them eat horses? Like, should you have to like separate them when you're putting them in the stables? Is that a thing we should worry about? Like, llamas has a similar problem, really. Because llamas might have contents, but I like the entertaining notion that when a wandering trader turns up, your warg will just move over and start trying to nibble on his llamas. Don't see the gold thing with goblins very often. It's a deep-rooted trait, but it does, as I say, more recently people have tried to push back against that and, like, make things a bit less, bigoted. But it goes as deep as, like, in earlier versions of D&D, fairly recent versions at that, things like goblins and orcs were evil. They were, generally speaking, always evil. And this then meant that you had a creature that you could just freely kill, essentially. There's rarely a consequence for killing an evil creature in most RPGs. This creature that is full of all of these stereotypes, so... People have now said that you can play an orc and, like, they could be a good aligned orc, they could be a neutral aligned orc, they could be an evil aligned orc, but that's not related to their being an orc. That kind of thing. Don't get me started on class restrictions in all the versions of D&D. Was that restricted by race? I don't remember. Only humans appear. Oh god, yes. Right. That part I remember. Anyways. Various Oddities is not doing that. We don't currently have an alignment system. And I'm not even entirely certain how I would implement one. We do have some creature types related to that kind of thing, but we don't have, like, we have holy and we have evil, but they're not related to your actual alignment. There's no such thing. We also don't have, like, chaotic and lawful. We currently, like, it's currently just a binary. Good, evil, and also anybody that's anyone that is neither. So I guess a trinary. A triangle? I don't know. But, yeah. If you are evil, then you are immune to evil damage, but you're also vulnerable to holy damage. I don't have any sources for these damages just yet, but they're in here because this is the core mod. And then we have holy, which is the same thing inverted, more or less. Very simple. But that's mostly just so that we can distinguish angels from demons and whatnot. Elves were people from the other first world nations we don't like. Yeah, the French. I'm not joking. French. Reputation system could be thought of as some kind of alignment system, at least on a per group basis. Ish. The reputation system is built to be a reputation. It's like people have like been gossiping about you and they've been talking about this kind of stuff with you. Alignment is how you will treat people and how you have historically treated anybody. So on a group basis, an alignment is just a reputation. But even then, that ranges from, like, actively hostile to really like you. Like, heard great things about you, hero. That sort of thing. But anyways, I need to figure out if wargs should eat horses, and what, if anything, wargs should eat. And we'll get to that with the next stream. We will also then get to the fetching behavior of wargs. So look forward to that. I might have to figure out some kind of rendering for the held item in wargs for that point, but we'll see. Because I know people are going to want to like make sure that their big doggo has a sword in their mouth for whatever strange reason. It's a trope, don't worry about it. But nonetheless, we'll be getting to that with the next week. Meanwhile, my next stream is Thursday at 9 PM GMT with some Among Us, and Then on Saturday, we have some more carousel, talking about what went on in the week as well as playing some random games. And we'll be back for more of this on the Tuesday as well. Meanwhile, watch out for any bonus streams. They will be announced on the Twitter. And I also have some videos over at youtube.com/remembercomic, which includes the vaults of these most frequently because I've been working on some edit-heavy projects and had very few spoons lately. And everything I do is powered by you at patreon.com/lying. That keeps my lights on, keeps my meds stocked lately, and lets me do all of this stuff, especially during a pandemic, so that's lovely. Other than that, hope you've all enjoyed, and catch you all ever next time. Yep. Pugine only has tiny nubs. Not much for waving.